I'm underneath my bus and I'm getting ready to install my gray water tank. Alright, so let me explain a little bit what I'm doing underneath here. I used this template. I measured the top of my tank and I brought this underneath here because what I was trying to figure out underneath this bus how the tank was going to line up underneath it. Let's see if we can give you a better view here. Alright, so hopefully you can see this alright. At first, I tried this way, which really wasn't going to work because of the connections. Second option was this. I was going to put it right in the center, but we want to move it away from the exhaust. So it's actually going to be mounted right about here. Now I did use this as my initial template on where to drill the first hole, which was down here. Then I made sure, you want to make sure that they're all lined up properly. I used this here, except for the first one I goofed. I used this and measured inward to make sure the next set of screws, the next set of holes were at the right distance. Now the next thing I had to do going across is I had to take into account not only the width of the tank, but the width of the bars that I'll be mounting. So I took that width, I doubled it, added a little bit more. So my next set of holes were going along this side here. Now I do have one more to do, and then I'll be ready to start the mounting bracket process. Alright, I'm coming through the wood. Alright. It's no big deal. Alright, so folks, this is kind of a mistake, live and learn. I drilled the 4 holes before realizing that I needed to drill at least one in the right locate. Cut this out first, very first thing. Get it in the, figure out where each side is going to be, and then cut the holes to line up in here, because even though I pre-drilled the holes, only one of them lined up. So I'm going to fix that right now. Now, I think I'm not sure. Once one is in, alright, so the thing is, I'm going to
slide the bolts down after.
What?
Might have to slide the bolts in after.
No, I'm going to have to put all 4 washers in before I put any nuts on, because once this thing is in a solid position, I can't get the washers on. Why is that not going on that one? I guess it is. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you said to just tack weld it on there, so...
Yeah, you can't really. You just gotta pound on it until you find where it's connected.
Yep.
See once you start bending it out.
Oh yeah, right at the beginning here. Alright, so I thought I'd go over a little bit what I'm doing for these threaded rods for the gray water tank underneath. I've measured the length I need to accommodate the tank, boards holding in place, and the support bar. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cut this the length. Now when I cut it with the hacksaw blade, it might leave a little bit of burr, so just to make sure, I'm going to run it on this metal wheel, and to make sure the threads go on. So we'll do both that right here. Alright, now there's a little bit, almost no burring at all. I can feel a little bit here, so I'm going to take it over to the wire brush motor, and we'll clear that right off. So this is what we'll have to feed into. Actually, that's going very nicely. Alright, before I start putting these spring-loaded locking mechanisms into place, let me show you this. I want to give a shout out to two people. First of all, Life the Wild Ride. That is my brother's bus build channel. He had contemplated using these, but his situation, he could not. Because I checked with him, because I had first seen this on, I believe it's called Jace's Journey. I think that's pronounced Jace apostrophe S. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description below. You can check out Jace's channel. Jace used these to insert and twist out, which I like the idea, so I'm going to try that now. I know they go in, can be a little tough, but let's see if I can put this in and turn. I have to start them in there, use this to wedge each side in first, and then slowly turn this thing, and then once they're in, it locks into place real good. But they're certainly not easy for me going in, but they are going in. Alright, let me explain a little bit what I'm doing right underneath here once I find my wrench. Alright, now obviously the tank is already installed. I'll go over some other parts once I finish this, but what I'm doing underneath here is I have on each of four of these 2 nuts, 1 washer, and 2 lock washers. So each of these, the top one against this, I'm going to snug down to hold up against this, and then the second one will have another lock washer, and that will help keep this one from backing off. So I'm going to do these 4 first. On each side of the tank, I have 1, 2, 3 of these threaded rods. Now I also have these 2 pieces of board as spacers, and the reason for that is that because of the location underneath, I did have this frame here where this could push up against a rest. However, I did not have anything at this end, and of course I wanted to keep the tank even underneath the bus. Now the second thing that I did before tightening these rods up below was to make sure that this threaded rod was all the way up as far in here as it could go. Make sure it's snug and a secure connection. These pieces that I put underneath here, these were also set up to provide support for this tank underneath. Because of the shape of the bus, the area that I had to work with, I did not have the space to come down with these threaded rods appropriately for the whole width of the tank. So I used these treated hardwood underneath, which spans the whole length of the tank. I did make sure, let's see if I can show you here, I kept this flush in the front for my connections. I did not mind going a little extra in the back, not a problem. Worst case scenario, not going to hurt a thing. I could put a spacer along here if for some reason the tank started to move back and forth. Alright, let me show you the last step that I had to do for this support for the gray water tank. Now, this being so close to the edge, I couldn't put it so tight I didn't want to break the tank. You won't be able to see it move now, but the issue I had is that this was sliding back and forth, which means it could have easily come out from under this section of the tanks. What I did is I just used a self-tapping metal screw, made sure it was not too long that it would go through this right here, and then I did that both on this side and this here. So that is not going anywhere at all at this point. So this should conclude and wrap up my gray water tank install. I hope you found this video educational. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.